Welcome to Becoming Enchanted, a podcast all about ways to bring enchantment and magic into your life. I am your host, Stacey Leigh. Each episode, we will explore many topics of mysticism, including Hello and welcome to Becoming Enchanted, a podcast all about ways to bring enchantment and healing into your life. I am your host, Stacey Leigh. Join me and my co-host, Andy Andrews, as we journey into the hearts and minds and discuss topics related to spirituality, the supernatural, esoteric knowledge, mysticism, psychology, and so much more. Thank you for tuning in. Hello.
Hey.
I can't even today. Hello, everyone. Happy April Fools, and this is what just happened to me. So, yeah, these are my children. And no, these are, this is my sheep and my horse, apparently. Tonight we have a two special guests on. We actually, yeah, I can't today, Andy. It's all you. You can do the intros.
What's that, Miss Sabrina? Well, actually, it's Mr. and Mrs.
So
Anthony.
cool.
But it's Sabrina and Anthony. Sabrina, I have had the pleasure of knowing quite a few years, actually, and she has an awesome line of products and stuff. They're both into the paranormal.
Yeah, both paranormal investigators and consultants. Mm-hmm.
And you probably know a little bit more about Anthony, and I know a little bit more about Sabrina. So,
well, I say we just bring them on.
Exactly. We'll
That's
learn a little bit of both.
Our background animals. Hello, guys. Welcome to the show. Oh, wait. Did we lose them?
April Fools.
April Fools.
We're on and off.
What is it? Oh, there's a lizard on my back. Okay. There's literally a lizard on my back.
Yeah.
Well, that was an intro.
That was a great intro. I never had an intro that before like that.
Oh my God. I'm sweating now. I have to turn my heater off.
So, guys,
welcome.
We've all talked since the marriage, but how is the honeymoon still going? All good?
Going, yeah. It's been going on for a long time.
Yep. We are full of surprises.
How long were you guys together before you got married?
I like
put it on.
Put it on. Years?
No,
5 years? Yeah, 4 or 5 years. Uh-huh.
It's complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Yes,
for about 4 years.
And yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I loved looking at Charles' pictures when you were on your honeymoon.
Oh my God, Iceland.
Yeah, Iceland.
We loved Iceland.
Oh, it was so beautiful. Oh my goodness. I was so jealous. I just wanted to be there.
No
the
kidding.
Black stands.
I just want to go back so bad.
She wants to go back this year, maybe New Year's Eve.
I would love to, but money.
Yeah.
It's money.
We'll see.
And it's expensive there.
Very expensive. Sure. Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, I had
but worth it.
Yes, it's worth it. It's worth every dime. I think it's worth every dime.
Yeah.
Once in a lifetime trip, it's definitely like a once in a lifetime trip. So
yeah. Boy, you got a lot of lamb going on there.
There's a lot of sheep in Iceland. Yeah.
Oh, is it lamb or sheep?
Is there really?
Yeah, sheep.
Sheep, lamb.
I don't know.
Lamb and sheep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hi, Chad.
Yeah, we got Gina on. Hi, Gina.
Hi, Gina. Hi, Gina.
She was there. You should have seen
how
spectacular she and Bob were. Oh my God, their outfits. It's outstanding.
Yeah. I saw all the pictures. It was just wonderful. It was wonderful. Now you guys did a hand fasting, right?
Yeah, yes. We had like a Viking themed hand fasting, and Jody just sent us a book. Like she was doing our photographer. She was our photographer. And she just sent us a book over the weekend. We got it, so we were pretty excited to have that come to us. So that was a really big surprise for us.
That's so awesome. It's just amazing. So tell us a little about you guys. I mean, Sabrina, I've seen you on other podcasts, and what you do is just amazing, and you're healing. And I think the world maybe not know so much about Anthony. So can you guys just tell a little bit about, like, each of you, just give a little intro of yourself and what you do, like in a couple sentences.
In a couple sentences? In a couple sentences?
Or a couple words, like however you want to describe.
2 words. Paranormal
in a couple paragraphs.
And healer. Paranormal investigator and healer.
Oh, Megan's online. Look out.
Hi, Megan.
I know Megan for a very long time. So in fact, speaking of Megan Phenom, we had pictures. We just the posts came up on our memories for Phenom. Like, I forget how many years ago.
That was a long time ago. Yeah.
I forget what year it was, but one of the memories just popped up. And and he was a paranormal. Go ahead. Your 2 words.
Oh, my 2.
You got to do 2 words.
I've done it for a long time. No. No, you can start. Go ahead.
No, she gave me 2 words. You got 2 words now.
Oh, we only get 2 words?
No? You can have as many as you want. Like,
well, the reason why probably a lot of people don't know me around here, because I started in Illinois. Okay. So I'm from Hoffman Estates, Illinois. That's the northwest suburb, and I just got into it because I had experience as a child, and I started just like a lot of them back in the day when you're really young, and I started when I was a teenager, and I said I want to be a paranormal investigator. So I just started off in late of October '94. So my 30 years coming up this year. It is this year. It's in October.
It was called a Piers.
No, that's not. I changed my name. That's when I moved to Oklahoma. So I was like Sixth Sense something. It was like Sixth Sense. And there was not many of us. There's really not many. There were groups, but it took a lot to get everyone together. It was so different now. It's a lot easier to meet up. But
I've been 36 years. So
yeah. Oh, so it was
myself and one guy forever, and whoever.
Yep.
Just whoever would go with us. And I don't even know if we were investigating as much as we were like urban exploring.
Yeah.
And
that's what mine was, urban exploring. The paranormal investigating has been about 7 years. Yeah. But urban exploring probably since in the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I guess since 2012 with me as an investigator with a group, like a big group. But urban Xing for, since we were kids, we always did this.
That's what we did in the 90s.
Yes, just
right around
cemeteries, and we would, do, all sorts of, Ouija board stuff. And
I thought you were going to say weed, because I was going to go there too.
Ouija boards.
That was my first run-in with the police.
Oh, I used to get chased by farmers.
Right. Yeah.
The cemetery and a Ouija board was involved. Yeah. So.
Well, my mother, I mean, she played the Ouija board, and we dabbled and, gotten a little, I guess it bothered her, and she saw things and things were going on. And that's how everything started with me when I was a kid. So, but she was always interested in the spiritual aspect of the occult. And even though she was Catholic, we were brought up Catholic, but there was always that, us Italian mothers and, wanting to dabble into the little things that they were, and the evil eye, and put the oil in the water and see if it all that goofy stuff.
Brooke is on. Brooke's popping in to say hello.
Hi, Brooke.
There's Kevin too.
And
What's
Kevin
up,
McIntyre. Hi, Kevin. I can't wait. I know Kevin's having a podcast coming out soon with Steve. Right? Am I right? That's the right Kevin, right? I'm horrible with names.
That's it.
Okay.
Look at that last name and think about what they were doing to me Saturday. The Irish lung thing.
Yeah, the Irish lung. Yes. So what I should have done is had Anthony introduce Sabrina and Sabrina introduced Anthony, because when she did the podcast with Jody, it was amazing. your introduction, or just your description of who she is and what she is. It's just so beautiful. You have a very eloquent way of writing.
He does. He really does. I'm the one who just can't write at all. You know what I mean?
I'm with you. I'm the same way. I can heal, but I can't write.
What is he taking wax out of your ear or something?
No, he's taking the ear. No, yeah, he's picking the ticks out of my ears because I'm just in the woods hugging trees. And I know that's one of the things we did want to talk about. I know you and I, Anthony, have had a couple conversations over Messenger about trees and things like that. Sorry, and Sabrina, you were there the day when we stopped, right? And I had to stop and hug the tree.
That was right. Yeah, it just called you.
It does.
And we were just driving, and then all of a sudden we had to stop, and we got out, and you were doing your thing with the tree and talking, and it was just an amazing experience. That was very, very quiet. It was very enchanting, that area that we were in.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very enchanting. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
We were there for a long time. I felt like it was very memorable because it was just felt like I was there forever. You know what I mean? But
you went wandering, we went to the up where the geo, what is it called? Geocaching, where we found the geocache, and you just went wandering. I got a video of you wandering, actually.
Yeah, and that's where I grew up at. Actually, that was like the second or third time I'd been on the battlefield part of that. When we went into the field, because they didn't have that until I was a lot older. That was just a cow field. That's all it was for the longest time, and they finally made it into that. But that's a very, I don't know what happened there. The energy seemed a lot more positive.
Okay, we'll your TV for now. I'll be up.
Yeah, you were talking about going there, and doing your thing, and
I'll bring one up.
Squatching, right? Or something was in the woods.
Yeah.
The goat man.
The goat man, that's right.
Yeah, is that what it was, Andy? The goat man.
Oh yeah,
down by the river.
Yeah.
We got tree knocks there.
We did get tree knocks.
We did. We had the
Remember
knocks.
Remember the Bigfoot? Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we did have an experience at that point. It was pretty amazing experience.
So I actually researched on that. I asked because that's where I grew up at. That's where I had my first team that I had was that I started. So I still have guys that live there. So I got in touch with one of them and asked him, I said, have you ever heard of any kind of Bigfoot sightings down, we call that area Killer's Cabin. That's what the little cabin is down there. And he's like, oh yeah, they have them all the time in the field right across the river. And I was like, that's where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
And, but yeah, that was, and it was late in the year too, wasn't it? Or was
it was summer? It was during
it was remember, it was so hot because we were doing
that's right. Yeah.
We were doing the event, and it was so stifling hot in there.
Yeah.
And then we went to the field. You took us up over at the field, and then Mike got that picture.
Mm-hmm.
That crazy picture.
I have an
amazing picture.
I
still have it. It's a wild picture. I can't.
Anthony, you weren't there at Paravation, were you?
No, I think he was either rugby or working. I had to go alone. I remember having to go
rugby.
Mm-hmm. Rugby.
He plays rugby.
You play rugby.
Yeah.
Mind me not to ever get on your bad side.
We're learning all the things about Anthony tonight.
Yeah.
Because he was supposed to be with me. There was something happened, and I'm just trying. I mean, everything's a blur when it comes to all this stuff that turns over. But he was supposed to be with me because he was supposed to drive.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it was. I forget. It was important though. Whatever it was important because he would have came with me.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what are you, Anthony? I know we talked about the trees and like just the messages and energies from trees, like in some of the ancient things,
Mm-hmm.
what is your knowledge on that, and how we connect to them?
Well, obviously they've been. I think they've been around longer, and we need them in order to survive because they provide us with oxygen and
Obviously, yeah.
and just other things like there's just that I think there's that connection there, and it's the thing. Like I feel like, what is it? Because that was my draw into the mysticism was the enchantment of forests and trees. When I was just young, I was always drawn to it. And I feel like they might like I always felt like, did they speak a language to us that maybe we don't understand? And so I'd go in these groves where trees would be, and it's like as if they were calling you. And that's where I started to get into some of that, the unknown and the mysterious, like and start questioning everything. Like what is this? What is that? And I started having these paranormal experiences I didn't understand. And it's a big umbrella, right? Everyone's just say paranormal, but paranormal really falls under a much, much larger umbrella. And that, yeah.
Yeah, if you look at the word para, what it means, like, and then normal. Yeah.
Paranormal just means it's something that's unexplained.
Mm-hmm.
And that can go from anything from geographical to, water going the wrong way when it should be going the other way and stuff like that. I mean, paranormal is such a big field. I mean, and that's what I think a lot of people are missing out on is that, we have so much we could be looking at that would probably bring us back, like you're saying, Anthony, a big umbrella, that everything ties into, everything else. And too many people hear paranormal and they automatically think, hauntings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's much bigger than that. Yeah.
It is much bigger. Yeah. And I like what you said, Anthony, about like you being drawn in there and that's like when you started like having these paranormal experiences and questioning, life and everything. Mm-hmm. And that's what I do. And like, that's a very druid. And I know you don't like to label yourself, but it's a very druid belief, It is. When you get in there and you connect with nature and connect with the earth, you seem very druid to me. If I had to label you, but I know you have it's way bigger than that for you. There is
I did get involved with all that. I did get involved into Seuss Wicca. So my first introduction to witchcraft or paganism was through Dr. Raymond Buckland, who founded Seuss Wicca. And so and my friend got involved in that at a very young age, and we explored that, and we explored earth religions and earth spirituality, what do you want to call it? So that's the thing, is because witchcraft or paganism really was the first to take it from animalism to more complicated understanding of nature and the spiritual aspects or the mystic aspects of it, and it became more ritualized, and then they became more organized. That's where the Druids come in and stuff. It was just like basically like just trying to understand that side of something that's been around longer than we have, and trying to understand the universe, and it gets a little complicated. And that's where the beliefs come in, and that's where mysticism comes in. It's like, because we think that a lot of our perspective is just from our perspective as humans, but we don't necessarily have perspective of things that have lived longer than we have and have produced life for us and stuff like that. So it just became more of like a sophisticated nature worship or earth religious viewpoints on things. You know what I mean? So, I dwelled in it. I just don't openly talk about it. I'm no longer involved in that. I'm a practicing Buddhist right now, but I consider myself to be what was the word I use? Aminist, means somebody that.
That's me. Yes, yeah. That's how I feel myself is. We have a very similar path. I did the same thing. I practiced some Wiccan and earth-based raised as Catholic, but practiced some Wiccan and earth-based magic, in my younger years. Moved into Druidism. Studied yoga. I'm a yoga teacher, so I got into the Buddhism, so yeah, we have very similar paths. So I understand, I get it, but yes, omniism, I see the bigger picture of it all, of how it is all interconnected. It's just different stories based on your beliefs and what each person has been exposed to.
Yeah, and it's a deep discussion. There's a lot to talk about. Some people may not be familiar with it, but it can get pretty intense. But I've worked in, I was a co-high priest. So me and my buddy were, we had a coven, and, but I know, like I said, I'm not part of that anymore for various reasons. That was a long time ago though,
Yeah.
I dwelled in, but it never really leaves you, because like I have a lot of respect for people that take that seriously, and I know the work that goes into it with consecration circles and understanding the ceremonial work and doing the ritual work, and having those beliefs, and and I see a good thing, because people are like harmonious with nature, and they also use those forces of nature and with their beliefs with through magic and all that stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's very powerful. Because like our connection to Earth is, I think, very important.
I 100% agree with that. Yeah. Now, Sabrina, you do you consider yourself an omnist, or are you more? I hate to get into religion, and that's what we're doing.
No. I was raised Catholic, and I have a lot of. I'm very open-minded, and I have a lot of spiritual beliefs on everybody else's religions and practices, and I dabble in a lot of different things, and just also to learn, to educate myself, and I definitely I see. There's certain things that I just love, and I just love saints. So I'm really big on my saints. And
I am too.
The way their lives were, and how, I've been dealing with, dealt with negative cases for the longest time. So, I'm very in tuned to specific saints and rituals and certain things in that aspect, only because if I'm going to help somebody, I would have to consider my religion Catholic. So I have to practice that part of me when I'm working with helping people. But I'm always intertwining just to learn other people's religions and spiritualisms, and pagan. Like look at our hand fasting was. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and that's what I was trying to. That was my point. I didn't want to get into like a religious talk, but I want to get into the point of this. What this podcast is like welcoming and everyone, like how we can all get along.
Yeah.
Like Andy and I, we are different religions. But Andy and I get along. We have great conversations about this stuff. And I think that's just opening that up. Like we can all kind of see each other's point of view, and be able to kind of honor it and respect it, and kind of maybe even tie it into some of our stuff too.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is pretty much what we do all the time, is talk spiritual or paranormal or supernatural, or the books that we have. I mean, it goes into so many different things, philosophy, and it's all just putting
very
it
deep
together.
Just
put it, and then of course the healing work too.
Well, that's the thing with Sabrina, people don't know. You the group that you were part of, South Ghost Research, South Jersey Ghost Research. She was in the negative cases. She dealt with you're part of exorcisms, and you dealt with all that. I didn't. Oh, wow. I was just your bare bones paranormal investigator. I was aware of that stuff, but I didn't get into that.
And then Andy, I know you
still do, actually. I mean, I'm still consultant for like people and helping and other groups, and and if somebody else needs help, I was with James Anito, like he was with my group for a bit back in the day, and
he's going to be on the show in a couple weeks.
Still bounce back and forth, and anytime he needs help or I need help, we bounce. That's the great thing about the paranormal. Not that the way things are going now, you would never believe it, but like there are people still bouncing off each other, and
doing stuff that we don't we're not posting on Facebook.
Knows. Like half of people don't even know. I still do consulting and still go out and help people at their houses on the weekday.
Me too.
It just doesn't something that I tell. I don't tell really anybody.
And see, that's like me. Nobody knows that I work with the sanctioned exorcist, and it's usually just them and I, and I have shared that with some people to have this new age para people out here, attacking, what I'm saying? And it's like, they have no clue. They're going by Hollywood.
Exactly.
And that stuff, and you know what I mean, because you and I are very close to the same thing. I'm not Catholic, but everything else falls right in line now. I feel the same way. It's all about intent. to begin with anyway.
Yeah.
And, but I am a Christian, and I work with, Mike Ross, and Mike, studied at the Vatican, and, I think that he's actually trying to get me to go there for 2 weeks to take some classes and stuff like that. But
you should.
Yeah, I mean, I probably will if I can afford it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But
we'll create a GoFundMe.
Yeah, that class is pretty expensive, and also I think you have to get the church to sign off one. Can't you?
And I think you have to have all your sacraments too, don't you, Andy?
Well, it depends on
if it's at the Vatican.
So they have like Mike. So Mike started out. He was going to go into the monastery. Ended up having button heads with some of the things that they were saying. So when he left, he actually, I guess, he ran into somewhere within the halls of the Vatican. He was staying there still before he was coming back to the States, and ran into I guess somebody. I don't know if it was I don't know what they would call them over there, the head exorcist, something like that. And both of them felt that it was calling for him, so that's how he got into it. Now he is what you call Anglican, even though he was Catholic, I guess, with that. But the Vatican is now, if you're practicing under Catholic, you have to have the sacraments and stuff like that. But isn't it an open class for other people as long as they are affiliated with somebody? Sabrina, do you know about that? I'm not.
Yeah, that's what I read.
We were looking into it for where was it that we were looking at? We were watching the father that does the exorcists here and what is in Chicago. Didn't he explain this? Saint Michael.
Lambert.
Lambert. I think.
Well, I just know they offer these classes, and
we saw it and looked into it.
But you have to get the bishop to sign it, and you have to submit your resume. You got to have the bishop of your diocese.
Yeah, that's because Mike's diocese knows that I work with him and told him that he would sign off. So that's what he must have meant by that.
Okay.
Sabrina thinks that she won't be accepted because she's a female.
I'm a female.
So I would love to do it, but that's how I feel too.
Yeah, I don't think they would accept because I'm a female.
There is still some old ways being held. There's one thing you're Catholic. Anything in Catholicism doesn't move quickly. It's very, very slow to change.
And that's why we did the groups. People would try to wait for the Catholic Church, and they'll either deny them, say we don't do anything like that, or or the vigorous hoops and things that they have to do to get anybody to come and bless their house, or if they were afflicted in any way, to try to help them. And that's why there are groups out there that do the negative cases. But now there's a lot of people who claim that they're demonologists and are going out there because they saw a show or read one book, and then they're out there so and then you got to get called on because you got to clean up their mess.
And I had that conversation with Mike. I said, so what exactly with being a demonologist? Because the classes that I've taken, and the last person that I took a class with, he said, you're what we consider a demonic specialist. He said, but you're not a demonologist. And I was like, okay, and like,
I never even heard that word before.
But I think what he was saying, it was more like a cult. I was more, because I looked into more than just demonic. I was looking into culture stuff and whatnot. But I asked Mike, I said, demonologist, how does that? And he said the way that they look at it is that you study under someone like him, and when they feel you're obviously doing classes, and you're also studying behind him, you're helping out with cases. And then when they feel like, you can't just get a piece of paper that says you're a demonologist without but it's pretty much when the priest you're working with or your peers say, okay, you're ready. And that's what he was telling me. He was like, there's no classes out here or books or, online studies that you can do those things, but it doesn't make you a demonologist. Like you have to actually do stuff in the field to be able to do that. And
almost be nominated or
kind of sort of like that. Yeah.
It's very similar to shamanism. I don't call myself a shaman because even though I do shamanic practices, and I was just told by my shaman that I can say that I do shamanic practices. But I can't say I'm a shaman until I'm finished with, all my journeys and stuff like that. And then being named, like you have to be named. So,
okay.
Yeah. So it's very similar.
I would like to learn stuff. Like, see, I love learning all these different things. It's
good luck.
Knowledge, just to know and to enlighten yourself.
Do you have the old ways, Stacey, the old ways of shaman healing practices?
No, I'm actually working with another shaman that's kind of going through. He's not giving me all at once. It's very like my first lesson is this, and so I really don't know. Because I would consider myself more of a druid shaman, even though I have Native American with me. But he's the Native American, so it's kind of like a combination. But he took me on, and it's actually Brandon Cooper. I'll say that he took me on, and my first lesson was patience.
She's laughing with that.
Everybody's laughing. You see that, right?
I'm taking it. That was the tough one.
I'm still working on that.
Working on that one.
That may take a long time to see.
Brandon, are you watching? No, but it is. I've gotten better over the years with my patience. But it's those type. It's very similar, like any type of religious, like if you were going to be a priest or a priestess, like you have to you kind of go through. I guess I would tie it to like some of the Buddhist. What is they called the Patanjali when he goes through the I can't remember it. I studied it and did yoga, like his self studies and going through and disconnecting with the self to reconnect with the self.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
He was massaging there for a bit.
No, he was scratching my back. I had an itch.
Oh.
But yeah, they Mike, Mike still study. It's a never ending study.
No. And once you crack that door open, it's over. I mean, it's done for. I could tell you, every time when, even to this day, something will happen or like it usually hits my child first. You know what I mean? Usually something will happen, someone will trigger, she would have a dream or something. And I'm like, somebody's about to call, somebody's about to text, because it always something happens there and then and then it moves in, or something will like turn around and between us or something like that. It's like
and that's what happens with every time. Like it's more of just Mike and myself working now together. But when we had 3 or 4 other people with us, we would start seeing everybody arguing over something simple.
Yeah.
And Mike would step up and say, "Hey, we're getting ready to get a case. I'm telling you, that's what's happening." And it was.
He says, I say it all the time. We're getting something's happening. Somebody's going to call with a problem, and and darn it, like with the next day,
So I'm going to go there. I'm going to go here. And Andy and I have talked about this, thinking is where I'm going. So, yeah, that's very common. You see that, like this energy and the kind of drama starts increasing. Well, and we all know we're kind of seeing that right now in our world. Oh. Where did he go?
Where'd he go?
We lost him.
Yeah.
This happens sometimes. But that drama and stuff that's in our world. Mm-hmm. I have this really, and I've done a lot of meditating on this, and I mean this in the most respectful way. I'm not trying to like call anybody out. So I'm not naming any kind of names or anything, but there is something out here right now that is messing with the world in general. I mean, like our world in general.
Oh yeah.
And I do feel like we need to.
It's a divide and conquer, and all that falls into play and
I
everything.
don't know what just happened.
But do you guys feel like there might be some other energies at play here in some of this inner fighting that we're seeing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that.
Yeah.
I have my theories. I'm not going to name them on here, but I do have my theories.
No, it's okay.
Of what it is.
Go ahead, open it. I do believe that.
Okay, you know what?
Maybe one or good example. Yeah.
I feel that there are some items that have been protected that are coming out now on being showcased that may still have things attached to them, and it's gotten loose.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
Here's how I look at it. Okay, no matter what religion that we are, or faith or belief, all of it usually has a divine being above it or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were close to cracking the actual, if we were right on the verge of finding of 100% proof, non-negotiable fact that there was another side. I mean, we all know that, but I'm saying if we proved paranormal and proved that the other side without a shadow of a doubt that nobody could prove, nobody could debate it, what would be the first things that would try to keep us from doing that? And that's my Christian look at it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like if we were proven that, yes, we were made from a supreme being and there is, this is true. What would be the first thing that would try to stop that from happening, But I think that you're also right too, that some of the things that are taken, a lot of people want to showcase stuff that could have attachments, and not all of them obviously do, but I think that I think the practice of dangerous things by people that have no idea what they're doing has a lot to do with what's going on in the paranormal field as well.
Yeah,
I think so too. And you see a lot of teams that go into places and they even just provoke spirits, and they want something bad to happen. They want something like some crazy, like unforgettable experience. So, they kind of provoke things.
Yeah, that we were talking about it at Selma.
It's
the energy has to be, things have to be cleaned up, before we have an event or anything at Selma, because of people coming in. They rile things up, and they might be novice of what they're doing, or it might be on purpose. You know what I mean? And it's a shame because,
a little bit of both.
And that's
I think it's a little bit of both.
It's just
I'm surprised Bill doesn't shove that out the door.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I was saying before. Like when Bill was there when he was alive, every time there was a group, he lived pretty close. So he would go over, do what he has to do. But he was also very stern with the groups that came in.
Oh, yeah.
What happened with Stacey?
Stacey went out.
I'm here.
But the groups that came in, he would also,
I keep hitting buttons down here and I gotta stop.
He would make sure that things were, in place. And now that he's not there, it's like the elders that don't do paranormal investigations don't know either. They're just the historical society. So they're letting the group in, and then, they have no clue about energy and, provoking and all that. So,
yeah, there's no vetting of it. And I'm seeing that with, there's actually
anybody can get into anywhere nowadays.
Well,
that's why Eastern State shut down.
Yeah, like I have a guy down that I had the opportunity down outside of Winchester where I grew up at. There was always this place that we would, when we were younger and was out like hitting the back roads having a couple beers, we would stop at this place and dare the other one to run up and like knock on the door, and, that kind of stuff place. And a gentleman bought it and needed somebody to actually investigate it. And the first people that he had in it were not the people that should have been going in.
Did you see that they're doing a Paracon there?
What's that?
Did you see they're doing a Paracon at that place? I think that's the one you're talking about.
The Blue Ball?
Yeah.
Who's doing that?
I don't know. I saw it today. I was going to send it to you.
Oh, somebody took my idea from me.
I know.
Because him and I had talked about that. But
I know.
It's called the Blue Ball Inn.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up on here.
But anyway, the first people that he had that went in there, this place has been there about revolutionary 1700s and has been a ton of different things. A lot of things happened there, but when he first opened it and went in to clean it out and he allowed people, the first group, to go in there, the next thing that happens is that, he was getting scratched. He was getting, things were falling at him, stuff like that, as he was trying to clean up. And, he was friends with some people here in Gettysburg that I know. And they said, well, hey, we got a guy that investigates, and him and I get talking. And I'm like, no way. The place that we used to always want to go in. And, we went in there and did you don't want to cleanse it a whole lot, because you want people, if he wants to, showcase it as a place that has activity, you don't want to go in there and like get nuts and push everything out and, and you're done. But, anyway, you could just tell that somebody had practiced. Like, this guy was unfamiliar with anything like that. But I went in and looked at the page of the people that went in before us, and it wasn't good. Like, they literally got off on conjuring things to make people miserable. Is pretty much what it was. I don't want to say demonic, but they were pushing the line of,
Well, that's the thing now. It's like people, I think, are getting their jollies off of doing certain things now to try to conjure and do things.
Yeah.
And
I was going to bring that up and ask your opinion on that.
It used to be, love life, like attracts like, and, everybody should be, taking care of each other. Now it's like, the energy that people are putting out there is pretty scary for people who are preaching, the love light and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not seeing the love light that you're giving us, giving everybody. Because if you don't feel it, it feels pretty opposite to me. But
why do you think that is? What is your opinion on? I wanted to ask you why do you think that's been we've talked a couple times about this on the show, is
it's just
the draw towards the negatives, the draw towards those.
Oh, it's the egos. I don't know when or why it's become so territorial. Places have been territorial. Everybody wants to jump on, all right, we're doing an event. If somebody's doing an event 300 miles away at the same time, it's like, oh my God, how could they do this to us? We're having an event too. I'm like you're supposed to, I don't know. There's like, it's just, I don't know. I don't pay attention to it because I have too much in my life to worry about and
and I'll keep it simple.
Go ahead, Ann.
Yeah.
Because I'm an investigator in real life. I mean, I did paranormal before I became a field investigator, but I do investigative work. I say, look, Lorraine and Ed Warren, they had that case where that person was possessed and they went to court. And Lorraine and Ed wanted to argue in the court of law that he was possessed by a demon. The thing is, it's like, obviously the judge didn't allow it because it's hard to prove. That's the thing. Like, I think now it's just like it's not about the investigative part, because they came very close to trying to get a court to accept that. And that takes a long time.
Yeah.
Investigative work takes a long time. We got to stick to the facts. Now it's all really like, it's about like entertainment and ego and ID.
There's a lot of entertainment.
There's a lot of entertainment aspects. I mean, I mentioned Kenny Biddle. Biddle's like, it's just all entertainment. Like, he made a comment, and that stinks. because there was some shows that seemed like they seemed like in the beginning, like Ghost Hunters tabs. It's like, oh man, I do that.
Yeah.
I do that. There was nothing wrong. Everything was fine. It was like they were, and we talk about being skeptical about some of the stuff, their findings, and they would talk about it.
Yeah.
And they would go through it. They wouldn't just be like, yeah, man, 100%. That was, it was this and that.
No, they were critical.
It was investigating. It was debunking first.
Well,
critical,
but now it's becoming like, we talk about the ego. There's a lot of ego tripping. There's a lot of just.
Well, it's like I told and we have a difference, man. There's investigators and there's ghost hunters or chasers or whatever you want to call them. You know, these people that go to the pay and play places like Penhurst, stuff like that. You know, these places already have activity. So how are you really investigating if it's haunted? You know what I'm saying? Because you already know that. So this is my opinion that people who go into the pay and play places, just like I do a lot of times, we're ghost hunting because we know that they're there.
Yeah.
But we just want the experience.
To find out where they're at.
Yeah, we want the experience.
But when you go into somewhere that a family is having an issue or, something that's raw, that nobody's been in there to check it out, you have no idea other than the claims that they give you that's happening. But until you investigate the property, until you investigate the history, until you investigate the actual people themselves that's there, that's alive, until you do that, you're only you're guessing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what gets me is I noticed that a lot of these people that are claiming to be professional, investigators, where are you helping anybody at when every weekend you're either at an event or you're inside of one of the pay and play places? So what are you actually doing,
Yeah, it's all about entertaining themselves and and trying to get a video out there, like a show or something or this or that. I'm like, I don't see anybody. I'm like, I don't know how. I'm competitive. I don't know how they get all this money and time to do all this stuff.
They're probably thousands of dollars in debt. Called credit cards.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's seriously though. We love entertainment. Like we spend a lot of money on entertainment in general, watching movies, going to like we do. So there is a piece of it that is entertainment. But in that, I think we've lost some of the investigating piece.
That's what I'm trying to say. Because
the reason why
integrity.
The integrity. Why we do this? Like I take private cases. I'm working with a couple right now. We're trying to. I literally have a duck in the other room for a private case, and I'm investigating to try to figure out if the duck is haunted. Like I don't talk about that. The duck. You haven't even seen the duck on. I haven't posted it on social media. You haven't seen pictures.
No.
Exactly. But like
it's like these.
It's a lost art in the paranormal.
Stuffed duck. It's not a real duck. Sorry, I just realized.
Well, my biggest thing is like the first thing that I tell people is one, there's no professionals. This is a changing and evolving field every day. There may be seasoned people such as ourselves, but there's no professionals.
I don't consider myself seasoned.
There's no way because it changed.
Learning.
But the biggest thing is these people, if they're so professional on the field of paranormal, then they've got to obviously know that a lot of what we're seeing in this field, all the nastiness and just going after people, they're all racing to do as many investigations that they can to say, hey, look at me, I was here.
And that's where the ego comes in.
But the thing is, they don't realize that they're walking into a place that is full of energy. One thing that I said one time, I spoke at a place and I told him, I said, it's like going outside when you have that misty rain. You know what I'm saying? Not pouring down rain, not, heavy downpour, nothing. And you walk through it and you don't realize until really you get like inside that you're soaking wet. because it was just a little bit at a time as you were walking. And if you don't give yourself time to dry, you're going to continue staying wet. So if you're going into these places for every Friday and Saturday night, and you're in that energy, whether it's negative, whether it's positive, whatever, and you don't give yourself enough time to cleanse and to get that off of you, then you don't know what all you're mixing within yourself, you know, with your aura, with your spirit, whatever people want to call it. And these people are getting so nasty and stuff. And I'm like, you know, the first thing that you guys don't realize is a lot of this is probably what you have attached to you.
Yeah, there's a lot of sludge.
Not attachments. I mean, yes, it's attachments. I'm not saying possession. I'm saying that you are having.
It's just like you walk through mud and it's like it's
exactly.
But that a lot of my healing works, most of the people that go on my table are investigators. You know what I mean? It's really pulling off this stuff, you know, and they recognize it, which is great. You know, it's the ones that recognize it. Hey, you know, I do my psychic protection, but you know, not all the time. You know, I don't. It is. Even if you do all the psychic protection, you still have crap that comes on you from work. You go, you don't. You know, your ego, you forget, you know, day to day, you go into a grocery store, you could get, you know, sludge on you from some miserable person that's walking next to you. You know what I mean? So, you know, everybody needs a cleansing, but even the ones that do the healing need cleansing themselves.
Oh, it does. I've been feeling it because it's been cold, and my cleansing happens in the woods and in the forest, and that's where I go and get cleansed. And
well, it's grounding. I mean, you got ground, and you know, and that's my thing. I try to tell people. I mean, you know, Sabrina understands talking from from a view of working negative cases. You know, negative energy will do whatever it can to keep the chaos going. It'll do whatever it can to get things wound up. So why don't these people realize when one's arguing if you know, this orb over here was grandpa, and the other one's arguing, you know, no, it's not, and they're going back and forth, and it's like, you know what, everybody has a theory, opinion, and it's not a big deal if you don't agree with it, you know. But how do you know that what you have attached to you is not fighting what's attached to you? And both of them are doing it, really playing a game just to keep the chaos going.
Well, yeah, it's called divide and conquer.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like I see all these people out here, and I've been part of being attacked and stuff like that over nothing. Well, you have too, you know, and it's like over nothing.
All the other groups that we were in, I mean, it's, you know, they've been around for a long time, and we had our issues, and, you know, broke up, and, you know, come back, and and because, you know, we had the regular cases and we had the negative cases, and then we get involved and we get in between the group, and we had to recognize it as a group to try to make sure that, you know, we're on top of it, and recognize it, because sometimes maybe somebody on the outside of the, you know, part of the group can see it and, you know, let us recognize it, because even the best
absolutely
person will be blinded. And, you know, and that's a lot of things. A lot of people in the field don't like that. They don't like to be recognized as of being weak. Like they have to be 100% on top of their psychic abilities, which does not work. You know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? So so it's the same thing with the evidence. Like you going into a place, and everybody gets evidence every time that they go out. That's, you know, really, I wish
exactly.
I wish I could get that.
Most of the time I'm sitting in the dark smelling farts.
But I think one thing that I really want to say, and when I said it the other day to him about all the negative postings, there are people out there who are really needing help, like we do, you know, the cases, and they're searching for people in the field. And we have so many people in the field that these people decide to friend request and, you know, try to get involved and see all these paranormal people. And then they're looking like, how am I supposed to get help from the paranormal world when all I see is drama from the paranormal world.
Exactly. Like, what are we showing?
How are they going to help my family when every time I see all these people that I friend request to try to find help through this community is bashing each other and complaining about each other and that's what I was thinking the other day. I was like, who wants
you're right.
If I was a person who was inflicted, reaching out to look at all these different paranormal groups and people, and that's all they're doing is bouncing off each other, complaining, I wouldn't want anybody. I'd be suffering still because
exactly.
I know who to go to trust.
I want to bring in some philosophy into this, like some greater thinking about human behavior, like. Obviously, like this is happening. We're having like a lot of this ego coming in, this thing, and the ego's there for survival, right? Like that's what the ego's for. Yeah. The ego helps us survive. It's necessary. We all need to have an ego. Right. What are your thoughts on, like, because I know you guys said you read a lot of books, you study a lot of this stuff. Like, we are all, like, part of us as humans, we're hedonistic. We are all heathens. Like that's our nature. Like, there's what is that? What do you have in that view that? We're more hedonistic in nature, self-serving.
Go for it. No, you. I
think it's more for you, Anthony. Like, I mean, I wrestle with it myself. We want to help others, but are we hedonistic? Like, what are your thoughts?
You have to be able to accept criticism. The things I'm seeing, and it's really a shame because even what people that I know that are strong-minded, have strong personalities. All right, when they come forward and they're the ones that are critiquing things and they're humble when they're critiquing things, the people that I think, this person they know has a strong personality and is being humble, but they're not taking it as they're being humble. They're not taking the criticism well. This is where that ego comes in. That's where the problem is. You should be able to take criticism in this field. We've been long enough to trust me. I had battles, for a long time about orbs before we understood what it was. Oh my gosh, the orb things, like a lot of you guys a lot of people didn't go through all that noise. Yeah. Finally, but see, it took a long time for resolution until we start taming and controlling some of our passions and reacting right away.
Instead of reacting.
Yeah. Reacting right away.
They're reacting right away, not stopping and saying, like,
the pause,
honoring the pause is what, and that was what Andy and I was going to talk about originally when we thought we had no guest.
Yeah, the biggest thing, it's like, like Anthony's saying, nobody stops and just, even like what Sabrina's saying, I've had people call me or hit me up online on, send me an email, and they're not saying at first, I have a problem. This is what, is going on in my home, blah, blah, blah. The first thing they're asking me is, do you associate with this team? Or they'll give me like 4 or 5 names. And it's like, and if I say,
it's gotten bad.
I say, I know who you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And the next thing you know, it's like, yeah, exactly. But
I felt like we need some smudge.
Yeah, we might need some.
But, I've had so many people. I literally had a case one time that the woman sold her house and moved because of this other team had went in there and they were one of these, they find paranormal and everything, and so the next family that moved in obviously still had the same situation. And, they thought for sure, this woman, man, was literally her health. She was a single mom and her health was going straight downhill because these people had told her that, it's coming after your daughter and all this stuff, and what it come down to was pretty much it was a past person that had lived there. If these people would have sat back and just looked at the pieces of the puzzle and then went and tried to investigate that part of it, they would have realized that this was something. It was an energy left behind by, whatever was left there. This guy, the guy that lived there prior, had committed suicide because he had been caught, messing with children. And the daughter was the same age as the child that he had messed with, and she was the one getting messed with in the house, more than anybody. And it's like, okay, well, just because this guy's not physically here doesn't mean he's still not trying to pull the same stuff, And so we actually went in, cleansed, did a couple things. They call me about once a month to check on me, stuff like that. They actually were just in Gettysburg and visited me. Nothing since then, but that shows you right there how.
That's the ones I did the reading on?
Huh?
Not the ones I did the reading on in Gettysburg? Okay.
But that shows you how ego and how people wanted paranormal to happen, so they could flash it out on social media. When did it? I mean, how, respectful and how you have to keep, well, both of you, all of us know when you're doing a private case like that, you don't share that information.
Nobody knows about any of my private cases.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like
never did, no pictures, no,
no, nothing. Like, yeah,
nothing.
If I wanted, like, if I needed some, hey, people go and say, oh, like, make sure, just like to announce that they're going on a negative case. Like, usually I'll go private, hey, with a group, hey, just make sure you keep me in your prayers and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
But it's like, I just there's certain things that people put too much information on, and it's like, I guess, are you showing off?
Like, I have someone that came to me over the weekend. They needed some help, and they're up 2 hours from here, and I'm like, well, let me find a team, and that's something I might post on here. Like,
that's different.
Hey, is there someone willing to go take this case?
Yeah, you need help. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's even that though. I'm afraid, like, someone willing to go take this case, like, who's going to grab it? Like, is someone going to, like, because I don't charge when I go to people's houses. When they're like, hey, I need help. Yes, if they come to me for healings, it's part of my practice, and that, but I don't charge for a case.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm worried, like, what am I going to do to these people that are asking for help if I go put it out there and someone's like, yeah, okay, let's get like 10 people to come and investigate this place. Like,
much like me, I don't think that if you travel 5 or 6 hours that asking for gas money is a whole lot.
That's different.
If
and she did offer to pay for my gas money.
But my thing is,
and a meal.
Yeah, I've always said,
I'll take a meal. I'll take food. Give me food. I'm good.
We're all down with the food.
I always tell people that, my biggest thing is I just tell people, hey, if you feel like, giving a donation towards the cause, and if they do, then that's great. If they don't, then that's not what I'm doing it for. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing it for money. I'm not doing it for the ego. I'm not doing it to have 5 million viewers on TikTok, and that's where all this is lost at. And I still say it goes back to Hollywood. It goes back to, the TV things, the entertainment. And that's the problem is
entertainment.
People they're not seeing the difference. Okay.
So I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to be devil's advocate here. Like, can we coexist with those who want to investigate to help people and those who want to investigate for an entertainment? Can we coexist? Because there are some that are doing this for pure entertainment and pure money, and there's some that doing it like I say old school, new school, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, can we coexist?
Chad's
I'm the peacekeeper. Like, I want everybody to get along. Right. Let's all just be hippies and run naked in the field and have lots of sex.
Coexisting, and that just means not doing my thing and they do their thing.
Exactly. We don't have to get along. Coexist, not get along. Exactly. I want everybody to get along. I really do. But
who was it? Daggone it. Flumery Productions. Ray. Ray.
Yeah,
Ray said it straight up, man, the other day. He said there's old school and new school.
Yeah,
and
that's where I'm getting it from. I saw that.
And there's nothing wrong with either one of them, but the purpose behind it is, I think these ones that are out there that are entertaining, they are still trying to. Well, some of them, man, don't even try to show proof of the paranormal. They automatically, like Sabrina said, it doesn't matter where they go. You could shove them in a closet in the back end of food line, and they would come out and say they had one of the biggest experiences they ever had.
And you know what's funny with that too? We are in an age where we have more scientific and more digital technology. Our technology has advanced so much that we could, like, yeah. But yet, like, yeah.
It's like I went and shot, I went and filmed with Brandon Alvis and Mustafa last September. And they are doing a show that is, they interviewed me about someone in my, that had passed in my family close to me and some of the things that's happened that I know that the possibility of that's them reaching out. And it was really cool to be with people like that there was nothing about the prideful thing of it. I almost hesitated on even going because I didn't want people to think I was just trying to shove my face up in the camera somewhere. But my thing was, Brandon and I both have something in common when it comes to people that we lost. But my main goal is to hopefully, and Brandon and I talked about this, and that's what, finally I went because of it. That show, when it comes out, is going to be about helping people with their grieving process and stuff like the intent of it. It all goes back to the intent. The intent of that is to help people understand that this isn't the last ride. If we're left here.
Isn't that why we do it? We're curious about what comes after. I think that's why I do it.
And that's the thing, we're trying to, and that's why I went and did that. Yeah, it's exciting to know that you're part of something like that and everything, but it's just, I don't think these people realize sometimes of the hours put in by these guys that are on the camera. They get 30 minutes of probably a 7-day, investigation. I mean, being in Gettysburg, I obviously see some people come in and stuff like that, and they're there for 4, 5, 6 days, and then they put out a little, 30-minute with commercials. You know what I'm saying? So, and what they pick up happened and took that much in 6 to 7 days. It took that long to just get something that really looked like the possibility it was paranormal. And so how in the hell can somebody go into someplace every day or every time and pull, paranormal? I used to have a girl that was on my team. We used to make bets on when she was going to get grabbed in the butt. That was the same thing every time we went somewhere, and it was almost on cue,
Oh boy.
She could get grabbed in the butt, and I'm like, we actually would bet 6-packs and all kinds of stuff on it. But the thing was,
so talking about the, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I can't prove that she wasn't getting grabbed in the butt, but every place that we go, it's like,
well, what does it prove? Does it really progress the field? Does that really progress getting closer to the truth? The truth to get us closer to understanding these mysteries and all that,
Yeah,
that's the question. Like, what is it about? What you gotta,
like why do like the deeper aspect of it, like the mysteries of it, like
that's why I thought that comment, and I feel like what's the point of some of this now? Like I feel like I wonder, like I see some groups, I think their intent means well. I think they enjoy it and they see it as something they want to share it. I want to think of, I know the most popular group right now that they're younger than we are. And
not Brandon.
I'm not going to say what. I'm not going to mention that. You want to talk about, but I just, I feel like, are they just trying to like bring us with their experience? Are they they're very enthusiastic and very positive, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's like, what? But to me, okay, all right, that's cool, but let's go. We're going to get further. But I don't know what's their end game. What's the end game?
The intent.
What is the end game? Yeah. What is it like?
What is it? What is this about? Is it just experience? Is this experience as a paranormal investigator they want to share with everybody?
I really don't even bother watching the shows anymore because it's like, why would I want to watch something that I already do over and over and over and over and over again?
Exactly. most of the time I'm watching Bigfoot, and more cryptid stuff. Like that's where I was just watching. It's actually really good. Bigfoot Theory. It's a podcast, like a video cast podcast called Bigfoot Theory. They're great. We were actually just watching about this experience that they've had, and that amazes me. Like that's something just amazes me.
Yeah,
we want to know the unknown. My theory is that like. And this is ego, and not a bad ego, not in a way like egotistical, but an ego because we don't like the unknown. We want to know everything because it keeps us safe. We are beings of survival. Our brain is built for survival. Scientific, evidence that says that we are built for survival. So we have like this desire to know and to know things and to put our anxieties at rest. And, I do feel like that's where that curiosity comes from.
Yeah. We're very curious.
And I think it's positive if it's in good faith, because there is bad faith. And the methods you use, I think we got to be honest with ourselves. And when we suppress that ego a bit, we can be more honest and we can have conversations.
Exactly.
We can take criticism. We can accept somebody. We don't have to react necessarily to somebody that doesn't necessarily believe what we're believing, and they can criticize and they can be critical, and it's okay. Let them say those things. I don't need to react to it.
Yeah, to be very aware of our own egos.
And it takes discipline. It takes control, but also it takes being a seasoned investigator and learning from others and the wisdom that we've gone through.
Exactly.
Maybe, and it boils down to respect too, and that goes to everybody.
That's a big one. Yeah.
It's respect, man.
I think that's been lost a lot with this digital world and this social media and keyboard warriors. Like it's very hard. And I'm not perfect. I'm not righteous here. So I've done it. Like I've gotten behind that keyboard and like
we all have.
We all
have. We all had our rants.
But then just being like able to like understand like, oh, that was my ego. I needed to stop.
Yeah, it's just like,
Sasquatch theory. I'm sorry, Sasquatch theory. Gary had to come down.
It's like somebody attacked me the other day. They just said like a bunch of people were in a conversation and something was said about me being a fake and that I've not, but they said something that I guess they thought was hurting me, but it was actually a compliment because they said, 37 years almost in this, how come we haven't seen any kind of proof? And it's like, because that's the way it is with me.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll do a live every now and then when I'm somewhere cool, like in Gettysburg or something. And, and I'll run it and let it go and stuff like that. If I find something pretty cool, I'll set it and put it up on, I'll still shot it and put it up on, Facebook or something. But the thing is, what I'm doing outside of that is nobody's real. I don't want to say it's nobody's business, but it's really, if they're not there, so they're not having the experience. And I've learned that I learned that pretty early in the beginning.
We want to share experiences as individuals too. We want to share people, share what's going on. Look what I'm doing. That's just part of our human nature. That's human behavior.
That's cool to do that. But like I said, like if I have an experience somewhere and nobody's with me, I mean, I've even had people that were sitting in a room with the door open, looking at me in another room, and I'm having an experience and they're not. So I can't prove that I'm having that experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's for you. It was given to you for the experience. And it's hard hard to prove that to somebody else. When you don't have like the proof, it could be something you didn't catch on camera, but you caught it with your, personally. And it's just, how could you could try. I mean, we have dreams all the time. We had, and things and premonitions and things happen the next day and stuff.
I know Andy and I are starting to have
we can't really
shared
prove
dreams.
that. You know what I mean? I mean, I could, the only way I could prove is say, Anthony, I'll say something that, and then later that day it happens. And then I'd be like, oh, that's really freaky. But I can't prove it to anybody else. You know what I mean?
But it's also your
and that comes down to self-worth, knowing that we have strong self-worth. We know that, okay, I don't have to prove this, but I do want to share it,
and that's where
we're communal creatures. We're not meant to be alone. We're communal.
It's credibility.
Tell all the introverts that, right?
I mean, it's all credibility. It's all respect that, you know, I respect people that's not even been in it, but like, you know, a couple of years, like, well, Stacey, you're 7 years, but I also know that you're doing it you're not out here flashing and, you know, look at me, stuff like, and I know others that's been in it.
I'm going to own, I like attention. I'm going to own that, but I get it. I found ways to get it where, you know, is healthy. You know, I like attention. I'm going to own that. Like I do.
But the whole thing
connection. It's connection seeking. I like connection. I want to belong. And this is where my ego is going to go away. And I'm going to be honest. Like it's not attention. I want to belong. I want to belong somewhere, and I want to belong to people. And I think a lot of us want that. You know, we want to feel like we belong. Especially there's a trauma. Like I didn't belong when I was a child. And so I've never felt had a family and felt like I belonged.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. You know,
I get. Yeah,
I think some people want to belong, but in a wrong reason. That's more of look at me.
I've been there. I've done it.
I'm on this pedestal. This is where you know. And then there's the belong where you know, like
10 years ago, I'd be sitting here and you'd see my cleavage and you know, like all of that. But you know, that's I've done self work since then. But there are people like I feel sorry. Like and those are the people I want to help. I work with those people. Like there is a lot of us that do have the trauma that came from childhood. It came from not being loved and not feel worthy. So they're just constantly searching, but so unaware that that's what they're doing.
And that's why you and I talk about shadow work a lot. You know, I didn't have the best childhood, but you know, there's parts that were good, parts that wasn't. But until I actually grabbed on to that stuff that was keeping me back or was causing issues, man, until I actually did the shadow work, I realized once I did the shadow work that how much little bitty things throughout my life were all affected because I didn't, take care of it, you know. But the thing is, that's
a long time, almost like 40 something years.
Well, I think it always continues. Like it seems like each week. Okay, this is a new shadow we're going to deal with.
And that's what I see that some of these people out here.
I got a bit dealing with right now. So
you know, that are in the paranormal field, when somebody contests them about something or debates them about something that they may have gotten on video or something like that, you know, there's a healthy way to debate, but these people, they've been through so much in life, you know, in the early years that they haven't done shadow work. And the first thing they want to do is, instead of pausing and actually thinking it through, well, this person's not saying that I'm dumb or that I don't know what I'm talking about or something, you know, they're just trying to give their opinion. But people don't, everybody takes it as they're attacking. And I'm like, man, if these people would go in and actually try to find a deep rooted, why do I rip the throats out of people every time that somebody says something? Because it's just horrible, the stuff that's going on out here in the field, you know. And it's like, I mean, there's legalities going on. There's people that are going after other people's families, their children, their, you know, what in the hell is going on? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's insane. And then you realize that you look back and you're like, hold on, this person, you know, this, and I'm not a know-it-all or anything like that. And I'm far from telling somebody what they need to do. But I think that a lot of people, man, when you see them reacting the way they are, points back to something that they went through in the early years at some point and wasn't accepted or was hurt in some way. And, you know, and it's like, you see that. And that's why Stacey and I talk a whole lot about shadow work. You know, it's like, you know, would it be that bad out here? I mean, I don't understand it, guys, at all, why this is happening like it is. And I try to come up with all kinds of scenarios of, well, it's this or it's attachments or whatever. But I mean, it is literally saddening, you know, to watch something that I know all of us on here have loved for as long as we have, the field that we've put so much into, to now looking like, I mean, the next, I think the next show.
I had to pee. I said, "Can you be host for a couple minutes?"
I think the next show we should put out should be something. If they want to put something out that's truth, they ought to put out something about reality or drama in the paranormal. You know what I'm saying? But
well, how much is yes, I did. How much is the drama? And then talking about the drama, now more drama, and it just am I saying that right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we have the drama. Now we're going to talk about the drama because it's going to get us more people that are going to pay attention because everyone wants to know the drama, and we all want to gossip and we all want to be like in the group.
Some people use it as to their advantage.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Doesn't matter what kind of attention, negative or positive, it's still attention, you know.
I think it's just crazy how you could put some positive post or inspirational, and you get 5 people like it. 5 people like it. You put up something that has to do with something negative, and like 50 plus people. It's like it doesn't make any sense. I kind of. We watch this over and over again. I'm like, all right, I'm putting something nice and inspirational. Nobody likes it. And you know what I mean? And so somebody put something up about, something stupid and drama related. And like, there's 100 people commenting and and liking and loving it and doing this.
I made a post that earlier. Like, the negative gets more likes.
Yes.
Than the positive.
Yeah, but even like since we kind of, I mean, I could tell you up till about 1.5 years ago, I'm not afraid to admit that I was right there. Like,
I want to stop real quick because we wanted to go till 10. What time do you guys want to stop? I'm okay. Keep talking if you guys are. Like,
yeah, definitely 10 because this is over. This is past my bedtime.
Right.
Yeah, we usually do an hour and a half. So that's why I'm saying, like, I want to, we got a few more minutes left, so I don't want to get involved too much. I want to be aware that we're ending soon.
Well, the thing is, man, people, like-minded need to get together and stuff like that. We don't need all the negativity. What I'm afraid of is that there's going to be an event somewhere that is going to bring all these people that are bashing each other online, and there's going to be some terrible stuff to happen.
Yeah,
I don't agree with that. Well, I do agree, but I don't. People are keyboard warriors. When we all get together, everybody's. They're not going to say that. Have the bravery.
You know what? It sucks for the person who's holding on the event because you could see the tension. You could see these people here, this group here, this group here, this group here, and there's like that tension, and it's like I know, and it's just like it's not fair to the person who's actually putting on the event.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean? It really isn't. And if somebody does come and shooting off and doing some stupid stuff, then there's going to be some major war. Sorry, because I'm not going to have people who are good for good reasons to throw on an event or whatever, and to just destroy it because of their own self.
There's enough people that are to stand up for the people who create these events. Like it gets to the point where I'm like, who I don't know. I don't follow it all. I don't know who likes who and who doesn't like who. I really don't. So I'm like, I like people when I meet them and I like them, and that's how I judge them. And I judge from what I know and what they've done to me or what they've done to my friends and how well they've treated the people that are close to me. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how I judge things.
What about this crap of, if say Sabrina liked you but didn't like me? You know what I'm saying? And you expect me, or Sabrina expects you not to like me because she doesn't like me. You know what I'm saying? I see that.
Agree to disagree.
I do see that. Now that would never happen to me, but you know what I mean?
I like everybody. Like I really like I got blocked the first time recently, and I'm like what did I do? But I'm
blocked plenty of times too. I'm like,
I'm very sensitive creature.
Don't hurt anybody.
I'm like the peacekeeper.
I got blocked because I liked something. that somebody put up a picture of something they created. It was art. And I was like, man, I really like that. So I put a thumbs up, you know. And next thing I know, I get blocked and a really nice message on Messenger of telling me how big of a piece of crap I was for liking this person's piece of art. And I'm like,
you know, that's, I get so nervous because I'm like, I'm a people pleaser. I want to make people happy. You know, that's part of my healing. Like being a healer is, and also part of my trauma, but I want to make people happy. And like, I don't know who to invite to things anymore. Cause I'm like, what if I mess up and I make someone mad because I invited this person, or I was told once, be careful who you associate with. And I'm like, oh God, what do I need to do? Like,
see, that's the wrong thing from anybody. Like, you know, if I'm holding an event like the psychic fair and I have an issue with someone and they want to vend, there's nothing I could do. But it's business. You know what I mean? It's pure business.
That's what Pamela Berry tells me all the time.
And it sucks. It sucks. But you know what I mean? I've had vendors come that, I butt heads with, and, I didn't want to be around their energy, but there was nothing I could do about it because it wasn't about me. It was about money, proceeds,
raising money for the,
I'm raising money. And so I had to put that aside. I had to put myself aside because it wasn't about me. It was, and it's also business. You're a business person. So there's nothing you can't tell somebody they can't vend or come to an event because somebody else doesn't like them.
I guess I need to tell myself, like, if I vended at an event that other people don't like, that, like if I get unfriended because I vended somewhere where these people aren't getting along and this person doesn't like it, and then they weren't my friend to begin with, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Well, let me ask a question, kind of the reverse side of this. Okay. Sure. Yeah. So if you know that there's a person as an event holder, and you know that there's a person that creates a lot of drama or does a lot of stuff, do you keep them from coming, or do you are we as an event holder? I've been an event, ran some events before. So me as an event holder, am I giving into the same, am I giving into the problem too if I invite that person?
I still have to be the better person, and I still have to be above that. And you know what? Who's to say that if I did say, oh, okay, I don't want you, you cause too much drama and too much crap. What makes you think that person is going to go and just destroy everything about you?
Exactly.
So you're better
damned
off
if you do and you're damned if you don't, right?
Yeah, you're better off being the better person and just suck it up.
Yep.
And deal with it, and everybody else can fuss about it, whatever. It's like it's the public place. It's not like a private event like somebody's wedding. You know what I mean? It's you're selling tickets to an event. If the people don't like them, but the public wants to see them, that's bringing in money. It's really hard to justify, but
that's what I'm saying.
It all ends up being you got to be that better person and just because it is business. And it sucks, but it is business.
Well, usually they won't. So if they have an issue, they're not going to be coming to the events. So.
Exactly.
Or you don't have to go around them. You don't have to be. If they have their table right there, then don't go near their table. You know what I mean? If they're in the event with you in the party, you just don't go to that section. I guess that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. All these little groups, because you're not going to get away from it. At this point, there's just so many people that are against each other in this field right now. It's hard to be around any event with it not being there at this point.
Well, how many people are really against each other, or it's just like they're been told to be against each other?
Exactly. That too.
Like, don't hang out with this person and don't hang out with this person. And so, like,
if somebody
I'm so tired of it.
Somebody didn't do anything to me, I can't really, do I get vibes? Usually my body tells me if I don't go near a person, or if I don't socialize with a person or be around that, it's not that I don't like them or anything like that. It's my self, what do you call it? My energy field can compel, and usually I don't go around the people.
And what if we can heal though? What if we can change? Like sometimes I think that these people that
it can.
what if I can change their mind?
Sometimes I feel like I'm being protected. You know what I mean? Like sometimes that if I sense something and later on I find out maybe this person isn't the right, has issues. I'm like, all right, that's the reason why I've never met her or I've been around her, but never physically met him or she or whatever. Maybe I'm being guided to protect my own energy. You know what I mean? So that's how I usually look at it too.
It's true. And I think it's funny, like, as we're closing, it's 10 o'clock. And I want to say, like, this isn't the direction I thought that the conversation was going to go in tonight. I did go something completely different. But, I'm following the universe. I'm following the energy. This is just kind of where it went. So, like, I love you guys.
Again, and we'll talk about healing work and things like that, or something, And
I think just the energies today, and I felt this today. I've been very feisty all day. I was holding you that, so I've been very feisty all day. So I think the energies of what's kind of happening right now, in our, astrologically, whatever you want to call it, like
but talking about it, kind of part of healing too, though. Isn't that the beginning?
It is.
Well, the releasing the thoughts that those thoughts,
and by no means is this. I just want to put a disclaimer out there. This is not directed towards anybody. Like,
oh no, not at all.
This is in general. If you're offended by anything we said here, reach out. I'll talk to you. Like, I want to talk to you. If you were offended by watching this, please message me.
I think that,
and I want to talk to you, and we can talk through it.
But
I'm sure anybody on here would be willing to talk about it. This isn't directed towards one person. If you feel like it's about you, please reach out. Like, this is just in general trying to heal our world. We want to live in a better place. All of us do. We want to live in a better place. We want to wake up and be happy, and we want to wake up and be content. So this is one way of doing it and releasing. Yeah,
I agree. It's a lot of tension. It's that tension to be released. Like, I have nothing really personally about anybody. Nobody's slandered me or done anything that
at least not that we know.
I think I did.
And if there is, love and light to you.
Love and light. Love and light. We're getting t-shirts made. We're getting t-shirts made that say love and light. So let me know. We'll get everybody can have them. Like, and it is, and that's like, why can't everybody just be love and light?
That just comes back to the simple fact is we have people all right here that are talking on this show that have made lifelong friends, and the paranormal's been a big part of our life. And and to see what we're seeing right now, it hurts us deeply, because all of us probably started this for our own reasons, but I guarantee you that most of us here started it as well to eventually help others out. And I know I did. And that's the thing that hurts me, is like what Sabrina brought up earlier about if somebody's looking for help and, they get into searching paranormal and they see some of these chat rooms and pages, and, I would run the other way. I mean, some of it is so bad that I'd rather deal with Satan himself than some people, And but the thing is,
what are we dealing with, Satan?
I think you guys are coming on because I know all of us get along and stuff like that, and we're all older and can talk things out. And I think that's if there was ever an issue, but I don't ever see that happening. But
well, I think I would. I think if anything, like if Sabrina, if you and I had like some disagreement, I think we're both mature enough to be like, hey, this bothered me, and having that open communication.
And that's the way it should be, you
and I do it all the time, Andy. I may yell at you, but
yeah, she's yelled at me a couple times for sure.
You yelled at me too.
But 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 the thing is, guys, I love y'all. You know it.
Yes, I love you.
And
thank you for coming on. And this went completely different than where we originally thought, but thank you for just kind of going with the flow of it, like things are. And we'd love to have you guys back on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We have lots to talk about.
Yeah, we have
some. I think we could talk for hours.
Yeah.
So, any final words you want to say before we sign off? May the force be with you. I saw it. You got the tattoo. May the force be with you, right?
Yes, may the force be. May the bunnies be with you.
May the bunnies. I love that. Those are not the bunnies that you're looking for.
These are not the bunnies.
I loved it when I saw that. Oh, I gotta say that.
She just snorted laughing. Ah.
Oh gosh, I snort all the time. Yeah, I used to be Chrissy. I was like a Chrissy all the time. Are you okay?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
We're ready to go.
Thanks, Chad. And thanks everybody for
thanks,
watching
Chad.
as well.
Yes, thank you everybody for watching. Just to give you a quick shout out, like this podcast is free, or it's free for your pleasure, however you want to say it. But if you would like to make a donation, I will put the Venmo link in there, and also the bracelets. We are selling these for $1, just $1, and you can support our podcast by purchasing a bracelet. So
also,
we're gonna
where
have shirts.
can you guys be contacted at?
Oh yes.
Basically, just through Facebook Messenger. We're really always so busy that I keep on forgetting that I even have a page.
Me too. I mean, I have a page too.
He has pages, I have pages, and we forget that we even have another Facebook pages. But
so can they book a healing session with you? Like, would you rather do it at a Paracon or a show, or?
Usually it's Paracons or shows that I usually announce myself at. Unfortunately, I would love to.
I know. I need to get a healing from you, so we need to every time we're next.
Definitely going to be at the bash, and I'll be at the holistic with the Selma next month. Awesome. So definitely going to be there this time. I hope not to catch a pothole and
seriously, that was so horrible. It was all meant to be, though.
Yep.
You felt it when you walked, but you literally changed the energy when you walked into Selma.
Huh?
So you literally the energy changed in Selma when you walked in. It knows you, and it's like, oh, she's here. Now we can relax.
All the bad stuff scatter.
It did. I swear it did. As soon as she walked in, you could just feel it.
But yeah, I'll be there at the holistic one for Selma.
And that's May 11th, correct? At Selma Mansion.
Yeah.
Just checking right now. It's to make sure.
So everybody needs to
go. Divine Angels.
The 11th, May 11th. Yeah.
Everybody
go. Be there, I'll be there.
Everybody go. I actually don't know yet because I have a couple, 4 different people reaching out to me for the events that week, that weekend. So, but most likely. And
then the bash.
If everybody is listening, go to Selma, go to Holistic Fair. It's going to be amazing. You need to experience it. You need to experience Healings from Sabrina.
Thank you. Absolutely. And Anthony, sometimes he's there and he helps me. And that's we'll have to get that, another podcast so we can talk about it.
We'll do it again. I have dates in November. Let's get you guys back in October, November.
Okay. Awesome.
So we're pretty booked until then, but let's get you guys back. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you guys.
Love you guys.
Thank you. Love you. Thank you everyone for watching. Have a wonderful night. And don't forget, please fill your cup first. You can't pour from an empty cup.
That's right.